What's up, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of X's and O's with Evan and Bros. I'm your most gracious host, Evan, and these are the Bros. Introducing first to my left is Mr. Daddy Sailor.
Madden champ, 4 years running.
Nicely put. Clap. You sons of bitches, clap. Joining us through Zoom, a little late on it. Up first is Mr. Broderick Olin.
Yo, Cavs in 7, always.
Cavs in 7. Not for the next decade. Following him is Mr. EJ Moneyman Mitchem.
Hey, that money man sounds good about my name. I don't know about y'all, but it's all about the money around here.
It's all about the money. And last but not least, Mr. Grant Biggest LeBron Sip Plunkett.
Dope man. Yeah, that's on.
Give our panel a huge round of applause. We already did that. We are here to bring you honest opinions and maybe some good takes surrounding this world of sports. We'll be covering basketball, football, baseball, hockey, hell, maybe even golf. Maybe. On today's show, we'll be discussing COVID cases rise at the University of Clemson's football team. What are our thoughts on how this could possibly affect college football? University of Alabama's football team released a All Lives Can't Matter Till Black Lives Matter video, and the importance of these SEC schools especially for their football teams to challenge their fans. Alabama and Ohio State announced a home-and-home series for the 2027 and 2028 season, respectively, and our dream college football matchups. LeBron says Cap deserves an apology from Goodell. What do we think? Do we agree? Who does he deserve an apology from? I might not say it's Goodell. We're going to phone in our guest, Mr. Ahmet, to talk about the Premier League and the reigning, defending champions of the world, Liverpool. I know nothing about soccer. The NBA schedule's released. We're going to discuss who we think has the easiest road to the playoffs and why the Zion-size fuck, the NBA, feels the need to force him and the Pelicans down our throats. Got some good news. 16 out of 302 NBA players tested positive for corona. I think that's good news. Reported by Bleacher Report. And each of our top 5 teams heading in to the final stretch of the NBA season when play returns. Will we agree? Who the fuck knows? But that is why you are here, the audience and listeners, to find out. Now, no more waiting. Eldad, hit that intro.
X's and O's with Evan and Bros.
Augusta's very own.
Street spitter, Trayshawn Money.
Okay, it's X's and O's with Evan and Bros. Of course, it's a talk show, man, talking about sports. The one and only Evan Miller, yeah, that's your host, doing analyzing with the side of jokes. Hey, X's and O's with Evan and Bros. X's and O's with Evan and Bros. X's and O's with Evan and Bros. Hey, analyzing with the side of jokes.
All right, y'all. Our first topic. COVID cases at the University of Clemson rise. What are our thoughts? Do we think it's going to affect college football? What's our opinions? Eldad, you first.
All right. Dabo doesn't give a single fuck about his players, first of all.
I feel like I've heard this before. Keep going.
Second of all, I think it does affect college football because it's not just Clemson. Texas has had a lot of cases. Other colleges are going to have more. It's just the nature of it. If one guy gets it on a football team, then they're all going to be breathing in like the same place on each other, basically. Once one gets it, the bubbles burst, and honestly, the entire team could end up getting it.
So what do you suggest Dabo do? Step down?
Maybe. Maybe.
Hey, Clemson's the most overrated team of the last 50 years. Prior to, 2016? Been to one national championship?
Hey, don't sleep on Taj Boyd.
Hey, they had some offensive weapons. They couldn't utilize them, though. People forget. Broderick, let's hear you. What's your take?
Well, you could expect this from college kids. Like, you got to think these are 18 to 21-year-olds that are all playing football and, like, having fun still in college. So
And drinking.
Yeah.
The bars are open.
Don't forget the
So
bars.
It's hard to expect them to have lower cases than these pro teams just because they're just kids. But I feel like the coaches and I guess the higher ups at each college have to do a better job like these pro teams are doing on testing on a consistent basis. So I think the NBA is testing in their bubble like at the longest 2 days in between. I think it's supposed to be like every day. So if they're able to do that, test every day and isolate the players that do get it, then there's a good chance that college football resumes and starts this fall, but they got to do a better job because once one guy gets it, the rest will get it.
That's true. It's a good point. They were sweating on each other. I mean, I played football back in high school, and the amount of men I touched in a matter of, I don't know, every down, every play. I was in the trenches. EJ, let's hear you.
Man, Evan, you're a funny guy. Anyway, yes, this affects college football. It affects college football to the max because this is Clemson. This is a program that's on the rise. Maybe. They play Georgia Tech September 3rd. So they got a lot of stuff to figure out because if I was the athletic director of Georgia Tech and I hear half of your team is positive with COVID, I'm like, I'm not playing you. You know, it's not going to happen. So it definitely affects college football. Clemson got to figure it out. College football got to figure it out. But I think this is a good thing for them because this gives them quick access to like, okay, we got to fix this. Like, it's not going away.
Oh, yeah, there's some time.
So,
This isn't, obviously,
right.
college football doesn't start in July. It doesn't even start early August. But do we think, and Grant, I'm going to toss this to you, do we think that, one, obviously Clemson's being reported because some say it's a pretty big program. I wouldn't say it's a big program, but some say it would. What do we think about, like, what are these other schools doing? Do we think, like, is there a possibility that Ohio State, everybody's sick? I mean, fingers crossed, right?
I think that this is literally what's just going to happen. I don't understand how everybody's surprised by this. And when they did it, there's in Jurassic Park when the scientists are working on building Jurassic Park, they never thought, should we? They were like, can we? And they talk about it in the movie. And I was like, everybody's just like, can we pull this off? Let's just try our best, but never really think it through. And you got to think, what's the motive here?
You're telling me you don't want dinosaurs?
Oh, I love Jurassic Park and I love the concept. And here's the thing, because I'm in support of us having college football season because dinosaurs are dope. And just like college football is dope. And if the few have to struggle for me to watch college football, I'm sorry. Like, I know that's not the socially acceptable thing to say, but I'm a fiend for sports. Anyways, the reason they're doing this is MONEY. They can talk about like the bonding power of sports. And
Hey,
stuff like that.
EJ, what'd he say? What did he say?
man, he said money, man.
He
It's all
said
about
money.
money.
all
Continue.
about money.
My bad.
Exactly. Do you think anybody, like any of these people that were running sports, professional or college, would care at all about the bonding power of sports if they didn't stand to make $1 bazillion from them playing? No, nobody would care. And the money's still going to be there. So they're still going to do it.
That's a good point. Money is obviously the driving factor of every decision made.
This will be
That's
an
right.
interesting. This will be an interesting kind of like scenario if it's not like an acceptable thing to restart college football in the fall. Do you think it'd be possible that they push it to the spring? So, like Grant said, it's all they care about is money. So do you think they would really sacrifice a whole year of college football, or do what the NBA is doing and try to push it to a later date and just have the schedule shift?
I mean, if we get a vaccine, but I don't think things really change from spring to fall. I mean,
I don't think they changed enough.
yeah.
I don't know about how y'all's thoughts are, but college football is going to work hand in hand. NCAA is going to work hand in hand with the NFL, right? The NFL goes off, I can guarantee you.
College football goes off.
College
Hey,
football
the
goes off.
NFL is going to happen. I'll tell you that right now. There's no way to cancel that.
Hey,
If they close down schools, then college football probably won't happen. But NFL's that season's going to happen.
but you know,
I'll tell you that right now.
we already know that they, classes for now are scheduled to resume in person. Obviously, that can change. There's a recent spike right now with COVID. In a lot of these states that have opened up almost entirely.
Good stuff, Florida.
Texas and Florida represent. And so, we'll see how that affects, call it. And my little brother's still in college, and he was saying how they get out Thanksgiving break. They don't return back to school. College ends. Last time I checked, the season doesn't end at Thanksgiving. That's rivalry weekend. That's my favorite weekend, is Thanksgiving college football weekend. So, again, with these teams, again, it'll be interesting to see what these other programs are doing, and why. I think the reason why this Clemson's being reported on it is obviously the kind of heat Dabo has been taking for his not controversial comments, but he's not been the brightest light bulb. He's kind of taken some slack.
Just football.
Dude.
Football matters is all he said.
Football matters, and not the perfect time for that.
Yep, football matters. That's his favorite T-shirt.
God.
My players' lives matter until they graduate.
Yeah, until they graduate.
Well, and Kelly Bryant, whatever that was.
All right, so it sounds like we all agree these numbers are going to spike. We're going to see it more and more, especially with more and more students returning to these campuses. Right now, it's really just these football teams. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And we got to remember that these are human beings. These are students, just like how we were. And so, obviously they need all the precaution, and they shouldn't be putting their health on the line for our entertainment. This isn't WWE. It's love WWE. All right, let's move on to our next topic. Alabama. We all watched it, right? We all did a little homework.
A little bit.
Alex Leatherwood, number 70, left tackle for the University of Alabama. Returning senior. Could have won in the draft last year. Probably would have been a top 10 pick. He wants to be number 1. He wrote a video. All lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. I believe this video is super important for schools, especially in the SEC. Because schools like the University of Alabama, University of Georgia, especially Ole Miss and Mississippi State, these surrounding areas, the fans who root for these schools are predominantly white. College football is more of a South sport. If you live in an urban city, you're more NFL usually skewed. College football, especially SEC, a lot of white fans. So I think it's important when teams like University of Alabama, I think University of Georgia is soon going to release a video, and a lot of these schools are going to follow, where they are obviously in total support of the movement, which they should be. But I think the importance of this video introduces this concept to a lot of these fans who are a little ignorant to what's going on. EJ, let's go to you first. What's your thoughts?
Hey, I want to say first, thank you, Evan, for putting me on the show, making a diverse cast. But it all starts with a collective unit. It doesn't matter. I don't care what race you are, what your name is, who your ancestors are. Everybody need to be behind this because it's all about justice and fair treatment. So why does this matter? Why does the SEC matter? Because they set the tone for college football. For
Yes,
the
they do.
NCAA. They set the tone, and that's a huge thing. The Big 12 should be behind it. ACC, Big 10, and even my Pac-12 conference should be behind it. And if you're not behind it, I don't know what to say to you. Hey, Pac-12 is the best conference in football.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
I tell you what, they're better than the ACC. That's for fucking sure.
always.
Debatable.
Come on, man. But it's very important. Everybody need to be behind this, and because people got to realize that these black players play on their teams, and they will boycott.
You think they know that? By the way, like
I don't know.
Do you think a lot of these, country bumpkin, like, you think they know that, like, whoa, little Johnny's not the one on the field? Do you think they know that, or do you think they like they're a little blind to the product that they're watching?
They don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Let's put it out there. They don't give a damn. And the thing is, if you want to root for a bad team, that's fine with me, because they will take their talent somewhere else. It happens many times again. Ask Kevin Durant. He done it.
That's true.
3-4 times.
A little too
They
many.
do it all the time.
All right, Grant. Love that insight. Thank you, EJ.
Yeah, they obviously don't give a damn, because and here's the thing, they don't care about the players, and most college football fans
Well,
don't
first,
anyway.
Grant, what's your thoughts on the video? Did you like it?
Oh, I thought the video was dope.
Powerful.
First of all, how about like NASCAR leading the way? They
That's awesome,
banned the
man.
Confederate flag before everybody. I was like, I thought they'd be last.
Well,
like,
and that's been in the working since 2015.
Yeah.
Trying to get the flag, obviously
NASCAR.
out of here. So I think, and then obviously that powerful image of everybody behind Bubba, all the drivers pushing the car. I mean, it's, the thing, and I'll let you go back, Grant, but the thing about, sports, it's such a diverse, medium. There's everybody from all walks of life, not just, white or black, but everything you can think of is in the locker room. No matter what locker room that is, baseball, football, rugby, all these, sports, and these are the people who experience, at least I would hope, the closest to society is what we want to achieve. Grant, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was on I've been literally thinking about this all the time. What EJ said, like, they don't care about the players, and it's so obvious all the time, because if you think fans of teams hate players for doing bad, like they want them to do good more than the player wants themselves to do good. And I'm like, why would you? It doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm like, they're not fans of the players, and if they were to fail miserably, and I've seen this on my favorite teams, the entire fan base turns on them. And I don't know, I definitely think what Alabama's doing is good, and the problem really is SEC country, and I know where we grew up, I don't know if we all grew up in the same place, but where I grew up, I don't know, it's like I remember like my senior year of high school, was when I remember Cap, and standing with that, and what woke me up was like the George Zimmerman verdict, I think, going into high school. And I just remember standing for talking about it all the time. And at a certain point I was like, these people don't want to be convinced another way. And there's such powerful images and things. And I'm just like, what's going to be the breaking point where people actually start believing that Black Lives Matter?
Good take. Eldad?
I love the video. It's as important as anything right now.
For, I think the brand that is the University of Alabama too. And they are pushing the narrative. I don't know if y'all know, but on campus, they are removing anything that has to do with Confederacy, no matter what it is, no small, all these plaques are getting removed. A plaque, I don't even know where some plaques are. And that shit's getting scrubbed from the University of Alabama, because they want to be on the right side of history. They want to be a leader in this movement that's happening and not a follower. There's some decisions at some universities that haven't been made yet. And I think they're going to be looked down upon, and their recruiting is taking a hit. Resume.
I'm so glad you mentioned the Confederacy. All right, the state of Mississippi. Get it out of your flag. I mean, so the SEC, we're all about winning, right? Like, it just means more. The Confederates were nothing but losers. If you're a fan of the Confederacy, go
point.
cheer for Akron football. Just get out of the SEC.
Hey, there was a kid from Akron. All he does is lose chips. But go ahead.
Hey, you know Steph Curry's from Akron too.
He's not from North Carolina.
He is from Akron. He was born
He is
in
from
the same
born in
hospital.
the same hospital as
Yeah.
LeBron.
Hey, the hospital breeds winners. I didn't say the hospital sucked. I said Akron might be. All right, go ahead. Continue.
But also these players taking huge stands like Alex Leatherwood, Kylan Hill, the Mississippi State running back, probably their best player, saying, I'm going to sit out. Or
Was
Hubbard
the best player.
Was, because he has to leave. Get out of there. Get out of Mississippi. Everyone who lives in Mississippi, get out of Mississippi. We can just get rid of it. But like Hubbard with Coach Gundy and all that, like these players taking these huge stands and saying, I won't play. Because at the end of the day, college football is about the players. Like, we don't care about Dabo. We care about Trevor Lawrence. I mean, we kind of hate Dabo and maybe Trevor. But Trevor's the one, obviously, with the talent, carrying the team. Every single player should take a stand like Bubba Wallace and NASCAR and how quickly they resolved everything. Every player should say, I'm not playing until either all these like relics of the Confederacy, which were put up by losers trying to rewrite the war, which they lost decidedly.
Did the Confederacy lose?
I don't know. I don't know anymore. I mean, they're still here.
The answer is yes, for sure they lost. And yeah, and they are still here. At least some people who like to think that. And, you know, I don't want this narrative where it's like, you know, you should forget your past, because I don't think that's the answer.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's also a place and time for monuments and you just people got to learn to read the room. And you just
For real.
You just
I put up something today
So
hating on the Confederacy, and somebody DM'd me about it and was like, you just want to cancel everybody? And I was like, no, but why don't we cancel the people that revolted against the country because they
were
wanted to
traitors.
own some of our citizens?
That's some people I think are confused with the Union
Southern heritage.
was the country. All right, we're getting off topic. Broderick, thoughts on the video?
I think it's so important because it makes people uncomfortable, but a good type of uncomfortable. Because when you post about Black Lives Matter and that stuff on Twitter, Facebook, or whatever medium, people can easily just scroll past it or not pay attention to it. Sports is the unique area where it forces every viewer to take a stance or to at least listen to what they're saying. And with like schools like Alabama and people in Mississippi pushing for the Confederate flag to be removed, or these Confederate statues, monuments, whatever it is, and the players backing behind it, it forces these fans to actually pay attention to the movement, and it gets more notice. So it's so vital for these schools, and hopefully the rest of the SEC gets behind it, because it gets people to pay attention to it. And it's especially in the South, I feel like it's a huge problem for a bunch of the fans not getting behind the Black Lives Matter movement.
Well, and this is the last thing I'll say on the topic, but I think EJ, you have the last word on this.
Well,
topic.
want me to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a movement I think everybody need to be behind, and it's not disrespecting the flag. It's all about human rights, and it's all about really working together. It's not black versus white.
That's the narrative that needs to change, and that's when I think ignorant people, not saying races, I'm saying ignorant people, do not understand that this movement, the protest, are so that when me and EJ are walking by a cop, we feel the exact same when we walk by that cop. That way, EJ doesn't have to have like a shiver down his spine, or I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but he doesn't feel a certain way. He should be able to walk down a side road, down a sidewalk, without feeling threatened. He should feel how I feel. That's what people are
Definitely
fighting
agree.
for. That is what they
Right.
want. It's not this white versus black. It's not that I'm superior to you. It's this idea of this feeling where you aren't going to be attacked if you are simply crossing the road.
Right. Fair treatment. I don't know if y'all watched the video of Coach K. And it was an amazing video. And he was talking about U.S. for the last 4 centuries have been doing the easily wrong thing and not the hard and right. But the thing is, it's not really hard. The on the right thing is never really hard. So definitely, I think we can come together and make a change. And it just takes people like this, us 5, to go make a change, and it starts there. And everybody's doing it. I'm glad LeBron James is stepping up. I'm glad Patrick Mahomes. I'm glad JJ Redick and, all these people stepping up together and finally making change.
Nicely put. These athletes are what I think athletes are a key figure in helping everybody understand, because they play the sport we love. Football, basketball, baseball. The audience needs to get behind them, no matter who you are. Hey guys, take this moment to like and subscribe, and also follow us on the Instagram and Twitter at Curbside Entertainment and at Curbside Network, respectively. You can also find us on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. What's up, guys? Welcome back to X's and O's with Evan and Bros. Eldad, EJ, Moneyman Mitchem, Broderick, and Grant are here with us. Our next topic is going to be about the Premier League and the reigning, defending champions of the world, Liverpool.
Go Red.
And here to discuss the Premier League, because I know nothing about soccer. I don't know nothing about domestic soccer. I don't know nothing about worldwide soccer. I don't know anything about underground soccer. I have no fucking clue what's going on. But to join us is Mr. Matt. Give him a round of applause. Woo! Matt, you're on the line. Can you hear us? Wait. Matt, try that. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Did you hear that intro of you? I just want to make sure you heard it.
I did hear that intro. It's very nice. Thank you.
Hey, no. Hey, it's nice of you to be here with us.
Yeah, it's nice of you to invite me. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, I'm sorry we kept you waiting. The show's, we have a lot of things to say. So I want to hand it off to you.
Course.
Educate my ass, because I have no idea about the new champions of the world,
Premier League,
Liverpool.
not world. Evan already messed up.
I think maybe I should start off with saying they're not champions of the world.
England, champions of that island.
Well, we would need to go to the World Cup to see the champions of the world, which would be France currently, but that's okay. They are champions of England, and they are an incredible, incredible team. They've achieved so much since their manager, Jurgen Klopp, came in 5 years ago. Not even 5 years ago yet, actually. And they've just been on a rampage since.
Oh,
and they are on track. They're on track to finish this season with a record high of points, over 100 points, which is only achieved 2 years ago, actually, by Manchester City, which are their top rivals right now.
Wow.
It's actually incredible. It's almost like if you guys have ever played FIFA, there's a career mode option. It's as if you are Jurgen Klopp. You come into this Liverpool side and you just start spending like crazy. You just start winning like crazy. And these guys, in the span of 5 years, that's when Jurgen Klopp came in. But if we really boil it down to the actual biggest factor, which would be the ginormous Virgil van Dijk, the center back who was bought 2 years ago. Ever since he's come in, a year and a half ago, actually,
Game changer.
They've won everything. They've won the Champions League first after losing it the previous season, and now they just won the Premier League after just barely losing it last season. So, there's not much else to say other than be in awe of this team.
Ahmet?
Yeah.
Do I smell a dynasty coming?
See, that's an interesting take. I mean, I think you could say this, but then here's my take on the Premier League. It is the most exciting league to watch. Why? Because it's the least predictable. It really is. Here's the scary thing. Ever since Manchester City's current manager, Pep Guardiola, came in, the shift has been seen. The shift has been seen, and there seems to be some sort of two-legged race among the peasants of the rest of the league.
Oh,
nobody else is competing.
The trash.
Yeah,
Get
exactly.
the brooms out.
And you can say again.
Get the brooms out. Keep going.
Yeah.
Don't mind me.
No, so I don't want to call it a dynasty unless they can win it 2 years in a row, because you could have called Manchester City a dynasty before this season, and then look what happened to them. They are 20 points behind Liverpool. 20 points behind. That's ridiculous. And they're second.
Damn.
Or actually, it might be third. Anyway, yeah.
So
we'll see what happens. They need to buy this summer. They need to buy if they want to maintain this dynasty, as you called it. We can see.
Hey, the sports world loves dynasties, even though they love to hate dynasties. The sports world is a better place when there's one king on the mountain. Now, I'm going to turn it over to my panel because we'll start with Broderick. Do you have any questions for Ahmet about the Premier League, or do you have any insight on your end? What do you think?
Ahmet, this is a record, right, where they clinched the Premier League with it was like 7 games left, and that's the new record for the most amount of games left to clinch it, correct?
Absolutely. It's the earliest in a season ever won Premier League title, and it's the latest in a calendar year because of the pandemic, which is kind of a funny little fact.
I think it's just a great thing, like a great testament to Klopp. Am I saying that right?
Klopp, yeah, he's German.
Yeah. How they were able to just come out from the whole pandemic and just be able to win those games, because it was a huge break, and right before the pandemic they were kind of on like a little bit of a bad spell, right? Because they lost a couple of games.
Absolutely, they actually they lost the Champions League to Atletico Madrid in a resounding 4-1 defeat at their Anfield Stadium. Which was, an incredible feat by Atletico Madrid. But it was unexpected. Atletico Madrid are a great team, and Klopp was visibly upset for the way that they played against them. And it was very, boring defensive tactics, etc. Anyway, they had just lost that leg in the Champions League, and so they were out of the Champions League. They had just lost to Watford in the Premier League, so their chances of going undefeated was over. And so they were really on a low. They were at the season low for sure. And for them to come back after it, go ahead.
Hey, Ahmet, what I'm hearing is this is a Rocky story. This is the underdog story is what I'm hearing.
I don't know about that.
Not quite. They're definitely 20 points.
This is Rocky in Rocky 2. They lost the championship last year, and they came back and they took it.
I think but the way that the Premier League works, it's a season long. I think the Champions League victory, coming back after losing in the final of the Champions League, now that is a feat. That would be the Rocky 2, I think. The Premier League is a little different because it's Rocky 4, whatever. It's a little different because it's like a season long. Every single game counts. There's no tournament at the end. It's just longevity. And last year, they came in second to Man City by 1 point, and that was incredible. But, I think their comeback, because their rocky story is more longer than just this year. It goes back 30, 40 years ago when they were the top dogs in England last. And then they haven't won a league in 30 years. And out of nowhere, they come back starting, 3 years ago when they started dominating and they won the Champions League. They won the Club World Cup, and now they won the Premier League, and everything is working out for them right now.
I think we haven't even covered their biggest comeback, though, because not in their first run through the Champions League where they lost in the finals, but the second, they were counted out against Barcelona because they were down 3-0 in the first leg, correct? It was some type of huge deficit, and in that second game, they won 4-0 at home when everyone counted them out, and that kind of
you bring back a very sore memory. I'm a Barcelona fan.
Broderick, this is the last time you're on the show. Damn it! First time and last time.
I'm sorry, my roommate, he's a huge Liverpool fan, and he's from Scotland, and his family's from England. And I've just kind of become a Liverpool fan because of him.
I've had enough of your shit.
That Barcelona game, and it just kind of sold me on Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a very hard Barcelona fan, and I will be the first to say I would have bet everything. I would have bet everything that they weren't going to win that game.
The shirt off your back?
And then they went and won it. Say again?
The shirt off your back?
Yeah, absolutely. I was so excited because, Barcelona, just like you said, people love dynasties. Barcelona has been, the dynasty for a long time. In Spain and in the world, they were winning the Champions League. Well, not as much as Real Madrid. Real Madrid might be the dynasty of the Champions League. But regardless, they're the second most winning club, I'm pretty sure, at some point. And to lose like that to Liverpool, that was Liverpool's statement. And it's been up since, which is incredible.
Nice.
Ooh, Evan, I have a good comparison for you because you were looking for the Rocky comparison. I think it might work.
Is it another Jurassic Park comparison?
Ahmet, I'm not a soccer guy, but I'm a basketball historian. All right.
Talking about
and the Spurs were like, so the greatest jump in won games ever was the year David Robinson got drafted by the Spurs. They won 30 more games the year after they drafted David Robinson than they did the year before. Fun fact. That's insane. 30 more games. One player's worth 30 games. All right. Anyways, before that, they had like a long, ever since they went from the ABA to the NBA, just no success. And then boom, just burst on the scene. And now that's how many years, like over 20 years of dynasty. So maybe there is hope for a dynasty if you're a Liverpool guy.
Yeah.
Broderick.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to me. And I'm excited. I mean, the one thing that people would always argue about the Premier League being the best league is that there was no dynasty. You had your Man United, you had your Liverpool back in the day, then you had Chelsea with the Russian owner, but there's nothing really consistent. And this is, scary right now for everyone who's not a Liverpool fan but loves the Premier League. This is scary because, it might mean the competition is not there anymore.
You would say it was scary? Eldad, what's your thoughts?
And the thing with Liverpool is 30 years is a long time between winning Premier Leagues, obviously. Leicester City was I don't know, what were they at, 3,000 to 1 odds to win it?
5,000 to 1.
5,000 to 1 odds, and they won one. And Liverpool, it's not that Liverpool.
Anything's possible.
That's the greatest bet I've ever heard. Whoever put money on that.
And it's not even that Liverpool has been bad over 30 years. 1 year they had a chance to win it, and their best player, Steven Gerrard, slips. Nobody touched it. He just slipped on the turf and just fell. And then when Manchester City scored 100 points, which is a record, Liverpool put up 97, which was the third highest ever.
Well, those were in different years, but you're right.
Years?
Yes, those are different years. But
Liverpool
regardless,
still lost
the three highest,
97, right?
Yeah, they lost, by 1 point in that year that they got 97 because Man City got 98, which was last year. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. They weren't. Well, they did have this dip between 2010 and 2015, which is actually the first 5 years of Fenway Sports Group acquiring them, buying them out, which also owns the Boston Red Sox. In case you guys knew about that, and so their first 5 years were abysmal. Actually, they weren't even in the Champions League, and then Klopp comes in 2015, and he dominates simply.
To put it lightly, dominates. Hashtag dominate. Woo! Love it. Love it. Hey, Ahmet. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
This has been a pleasure, my man.
Absolutely.
Hey, thanks for coming on. Hey, and if there's any other, you obviously probably keep up with a bunch of other soccer news, I assume.
Yeah.
Everything, right?
Yeah, mainly, yeah.
Are you our guy?
I can be, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what I like to hear. Ahmet's our guy. He's our guy. All right. Hey, Matt, where can people find you? Got a handle?
Yeah, should be at Korkaya. My last name, Koerkaya, which is the German way of spelling it, funnily enough.
Well, thank you for being our guest for the first episode of X's and O's with Evan and Bros. Let's give a round of applause to Ahmet.
Is that a real audience?
Oh, yeah. Live. Hey, thanks, buddy, for being on.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
I'll talk to you later. See ya.
Definitely. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, what I was trying to tell you before Evan just started yelling dominate was if there's a team you should be a fan of, it is Liverpool, because LeBron, I think, is a minority.
He's a minority owner. Yes,
I
he
don't know
is.
what percentage, but
LeBron just got his shit.
I knew he was a minority
Kinda
owner
by
of a
cheating.
soccer team. I didn't know which one it was, though. That's dope. That's definitely my favorite soccer team, though.
All right, y'all. We're going to talk about next, to get back on the college football track. We're going to talk about key matchups in regards to how Alabama and Ohio State are playing a home and home 2027 and 2028. So that's badass. What do y'all think? What are your dream matchups? Okay. Throw them out. Grant, you go first.
I prefer to watch, and one thing I will say, the college football playoff has given us almost like all of my dream matchups, because I just like seeing greatness versus greatness and best teams versus best teams. And I'm the first person to say we need to go to 8-team, 16-team playoff, but
16 is actually not the move.
16 sounds like so much fun.
You got to think about the players. Their body. I mean, that's a lot.
That's what cut out of conference games. Just do a conference. All right, I'm not going to get into my theories,
I think they should destroy the SEC, Big 12, and all these conferences, and that's what I think. But go ahead. Keep going. What's your dream matchup?
But I guess my favorite type of matchups are top-tier Big 12 versus top-tier SEC. I love when there's like a gunslinger dynamite quarterback and he's going up against like a staunch defense. So maybe give me like Kyler Murray's Oklahoma Sooners versus, I don't know, I guess Georgia's defense last year. Georgia's defense was crazy good last year. That'd be a really good matchup, I think.
Monte Rice in the back. LeCount dropping the hammer. The secondary.
Isn't it J.R. Reed?
And J.R. Reed? Yeah, we're naming players. All right, EJ, what's your matchup?
Well, definitely gonna go with USC Trojans. Whoever they face is a dream matchup for that team that they're facing, because you can't face greatness like USC Trojans. Anyway, USC Trojans best team with Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart and all those kids
like
versus Georgia.
Money. That's why you like that team.
Hey, man, I tell you, Reggie Bush, Lindell White, that team was nasty. But yeah, USC best offense versus SEC best defense. I mean, worst defense, so we can win.
So we get that dub. So it would be another Georgia matchup, I assume.
Oh, right. Definitely. USC versus Georgia will definitely be a dream for me. And USC will come with the victory. Probably not now, but,
give them another decade.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Pete Carroll's going to return to SC, and he wants to, finish and die on the field.
That'd be a blessing.
Broderick.
EJ will like this one, but one of my favorite games ever was that USC Penn State matchup in the Rose Bowl. And I can just imagine a home and home and the one in Penn State with the whiteout against maybe like a top 25 USC team going up against a top 25 Penn State team. That would just be a dream home and home for me. And, that Darnold versus Barkley, kind of having something like that again, that'd be just amazing for both fan bases, in my opinion.
Eldad?
Oregon, Oklahoma, midnight, Rose Bowl, after dark.
Late night. Love it. You think the announcers could use explicits if it's on like at 2 a.m. in the morning? You'd be like, holy fucking shit, what is that? And then he's like, he just took the ball down 80 fucking yards. That'd be awesome.
Dude, some of my favorite football memories are just like I've been gambling, like you do like a parlay, so you pick like 4 games, and the last one is like 11 p.m. kickoff. I've been drinking too much. It's like 2 a.m. and you're watching them just send tanks 70 yards down the field. You have no idea what's going to happen. That's just awesome. I do love Pac-12 football.
That Washington State UCLA game last year might be the greatest game in college football history.
Like 3 of UCLA's games last year, they came back from down like 50.
Yeah.
All right, man. We're going to move on to our next topic. That was a fun one. But now we're in the NFL. LeBron says Cap deserves an apology from Goodell, and when LeBron speaks, people listen, as they should. Okay, he's the king. He knows how to articulate his feelings eloquently. The dude's he always proves it. So what do we think? Do we think is it Goodell that deserves Cap, like needs to deliver apology to Cap, or is it somebody else? My thoughts. I think that I think I think there's some law things. If Roger Goodell, up front says Cap was blackmailed, we all are blackballed. We all knew he was. But if he says it publicly, Cap can sue him, right? There's some legal things with that. So obviously he's not going to do that. That's why, they released that statement and did not name him by name. But so the way I see it is all the owners deserve to give Cap an apology. Cap deserves an apology from all the owners, is how I would put it. All 32 teams. Because he deserves to be on all their rosters. Whether that's a starter, who knows who's in the starting role, but he deserves to compete. He's better than 64 of the other quarterbacks that's on the fucking roster. That's for sure. True, right? I mean, but the thing is, it's equal opportunity. You got to give him a chance. And I can guarantee you he's going to outthrow, outrun, outwork probably. I would think, because he has a chip on his shoulder, kind of like Cam right now. Anybody that's in that quarterback room. Real quick, let's get your thoughts before we hit another break. So EJ, we got about 5-6 minutes. So give your quick thoughts on the matter.
Yeah, quick. Definitely. The NFL should apologize to Cap. Definitely the San Francisco 49ers. Goodell. I would love to see Jerry Jones in there to
all the owners.
All the owners. It's not about disrespecting the flag, what everybody thought it was, and it's about justice and fair treatment.
Well, ignorant people thought it was.
Right. It's amazing. And Cap deserves a fair shake. He deserves a team. And I know the NFL had the settlement with him. Well, he still lost millions, so he needs that back too. And hopefully he gets on a team.
That's that contract.
And
right?
I don't think there's anybody on this show that can tell me there's 32 quarterbacks better than Cap.
Well, I would say, I mean, I don't know if 30, there might be 32. I don't think there's 64. Like, Cap needs to be on a team.
Yeah. Mm.
You know, like, but again, I don't, you know, who's just saying he might be better than Gardner Minshew. Minshew's kind of,
I don't know.
I like Minshew. But you could probably.
Cabinet better than Minshew.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah,
So
3,000 yards, 22 touchdowns, 4 picks.
Minshew's good. He's got a handlebar. All right. Broderick, thoughts?
I actually disagree with you, Evan, in terms of Goodell's speaking out about it, because I do agree that all the owners should definitely say something. But when you look
what you
at the
talking about, bitch?
when you look at the NBA, Adam Silver just gives all the players a green light.
All right, hold on. Okay, real quick. We all know that Adam Silver is the king when it comes to commissioners of every league. I mean, like, we know that. I'm not arguing Roger doesn't suck. Roger does suck. It's not an easy job. But
I'm saying be like Adam Silver, support these players, because I don't think there's ever a point through this whole thing where Goodell was like, Kaepernick, you're doing a good thing. Like, you have my full support. I don't think he has to go out and say like, oh, we blackballed you or whatever. Like, you weren't allowed to play for any team in the league. But he should go out and say, I'm sorry for not supporting you through this time. I'm sorry that we didn't give you the support that we needed and that we weren't behind you on this issue. That's just my opinion.
Okay. Eldad?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Hey, it's his turn. He's got the 7 on his shirt. Where's yours at, bro?
I got 23 on, baby.
I would honestly go farther than just the owners as well. I think, honestly, every player should apologize to him. I mean, that video was 4 years too late.
How many players are in the NFL? Somebody fact check that. I have no freaking clue, but there's a lot.
But they should have all supported him when he first kneeled instead of now. And I don't know. I mean, the NFL, there was like one insider who said if Mahomes, like, as soon as
we're insiders now, men.
As soon as they saw Mahomes was in the video, they knew they had to act. And I'm like, so did you just act because Mahomes was in there? Or do you actually care about what they're saying?
Mahomes the GOAT. No, the problem is the NFL's 4 years too late. 4 years when they could have been.
2016 was when he was kneeling in the preseason.
Could have been on top of this, and that's why the problem is I hate seeing all these people now. Like, I'm making this change now, which you should have made the change a decade ago, 2 decades ago. It doesn't, just because you're now on the right side. It's good that I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't be on the right side of history, but just because now it's cool to be like, oh, I now support BLM. I'm like, get your ass out of here. Grant, quick thoughts?
Yeah, the NBA does such a good job of supporting their stars, and the NFL.
Well, it's a star-driven league. To play devil's advocate, I mean, it is the NFL more so. It's about the brand. You know, it's usually there are superstar players that you support, but usually it's like, I'm a fan of the Falcons for the Falcons. You're usually, and it's harder to do the NBA. This is why I like the NBA more. It is a star-driven league,
and the players are more valuable in the NBA.
Oh, for sure, 100%. You can,
close.
But I mean, running backs, you know.
Yeah. So I was just thinking about that, and I was like, Colin, I don't know if it just comes with the territory, especially when you're in business with a bunch of old white rich dudes, and like when you have like make that kind of statement but have that kind of following. You watched it happen to Tim Tebow, which was completely different. But you have to be good enough at all times to keep that. And LeBron has been outspoken about the same things for a long time, but he never slipped up. Cap did for like 3 or 4 games. Boom, Blaine Gabbert's starting ahead of him, and then he's viewed as a second-string quarterback. And now nobody will sign him, and they keep saying like he's that bad. So it was like they were waiting on something to happen so you could like ostracize him.
If Tom Brady joined Cap or supported Cap vocally like how Cap did,
Which he won't.
this would have been dealt with in 2016. Well, at least the people, not the movement, but the like perception of the NFL around it.
Oh yeah.
Because they wouldn't have turned a blind eye. The Patriots were not going to cut Tom Brady. Let's just put that, it was easy for San Francisco to be like this, like Grant said. He slipped up. Let's move him on out. And all right, guys, that's the end of that topic. We're going to take a quick break. Another shameless plug. If you haven't already, follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, and continue to support, like, and subscribe. That's what helps. We'll get back to you. Thank you, guys. What's up, guys? Welcome back to X's and O's with Evan and Bros. Eldad in here with me in studio. Now, we're moving on to our next topic. It's my favorite sport, basketball, specifically the NBA. So the NBA recently announced that the schedule has been out, and we want to talk about who we think has the easiest road and why so. And also, game 1, Clippers-Lakers, July 30th. I love the NBA. They do it right every time. Unlike the NFL. So let's talk. Why do the Pelicans have the easiest road to the playoffs? Why do they feel the need to force Zion and the Pelicans? But it's really just, Zion could have been on anybody's team, and it's not the Pelicans. It's just Zion. Why? Why are we getting fed them so much? We'll start with Grant because he's got that Lakers shirt on.
Hey, first of all, Evan, I want to ask you, have you ever seen Zion dunk a basketball?
Yeah, I saw his titties fly in the air too when he did it. What's up?
Exactly. That's why they're forcing him down our throats, all right? It's amazing. It's must-watch TV, and I'm here for it, all right?
I don't know if y'all heard.
Plus,
real quick,
here's another reason. The Pelicans had the easiest remaining schedule before the season was canceled. So I think that they should have given them an easier schedule, and that makes sense to me.
Aren't you a Grizzlies fan?
No, I loved like the grit and grind.
Grizzlies. Oh, not anymore?
No,
is that how
really.
fandom works?
I mean, like that's what teams get me. Like, there's certain teams that like just vibe with me.
Grit and grind is back in Memphis, baby.
Hey, I heard that Zion is in the best shape that he's been in since obviously joining the NBA.
Yeah, round. Like that's what he looks like. Did y'all see that video of him after Thanksgiving or whatever?
I saw the 2K video. Like, he was sweaty.
That dude was literally fat. I don't know how he jumped so high.
Hey,
but
think about it. Think about it after he
doesn't matter. Whoever makes the 8 seeds getting swept by the Lakers.
Agree.
All right, real quick. All right, so EJ, what do you think? What's your take on the schedule?
I would love to see. I'd love to see. If we're talking about the Pelicans here, I'd love to see Pelicans versus Lakers first round of the playoff and watch the Pelicans get swept. I mean, it don't matter who the Lakers play. It could be my mom, your mom, everybody's mama. They're still going to.
Susie post their ass up.
I got the Blazers.
Blazers. I don't know the Blazers because of Trevor Ariza.
I was about to
not
say.
Going to be there.
Good call.
I think it's going to be a big loss for him. I think the Pelicans going to be there, and I love to see Lonzo and make his dad sad again. Oh man.
Broderick.
Are we just talking about the schedule in general, or just the Pelicans?
No. Well, the NBA wants us to talk about the Pelicans, so comes in the territory of talking about the schedule.
Oh. Well, I think the Grizzlies will hold on to that last spot because I am a big Ja Morant guy. They're 3.5 games ahead, so the Pelicans are still within that 4-game reach, and with the easiest schedule, they'll definitely still be there. But Grizzlies just have to win a few games to make sure they keep that 8th spot. And the West is going to be tough because there are so many teams that can be within that 4-game range. So it could be
Well, what
it's very important having that 8th because say like there's like 5 teams that are in that 4-game span. It's going to be tough being one of the last of those and having to win your way in and having to play like 4 games before even playing the Grizzlies or say the Pelicans if they got to the 8th spot. If I have that right, where they do a play-in each game until you get to the 8th seed. Okay, yeah. If say the Suns are within 4 games but they're in last, like just imagining having to play like the Kings and then you play the Spurs and then having to play the Pelicans and then beating all of them and then you still have to beat the Grizzlies twice. You have to win 5 games in a row. All the Grizzlies have to do is win 1.
Yeah.
So I think whoever holds on to that 8th spot has such a huge advantage.
Eldad.
I'm hearing a lot of people sleeping on the Pelicans right now. I mean, with Zion, Brandon, and Lonzo, they got one of the best net ratings in the NBA. I don't think it's going to be a sweep, especially in Orlando when no fans, no home court, nothing.
Josh Hart's really good at
he's great at COD.
video games.
So
I mean,
good.
have you guys seen his trigger finger? The dude's quick on it.
Man, Donovan Mitchell sucks, though.
Yeah, so I think the fact that the schedule's released, it just makes it so much more real. And it just gets us so much more hype. I think y'all, I'm ready. I'm ready for the NBA to be back because it's the greatest league in the world.
Well, what I didn't realize is just how many games there are. Like, they actually, like, the bubble didn't really seem feasible to me to begin with. And, like, I mean, they're playing, like, it's like 100 games, like 90
every day.
games. It's a ton of games.
You get like
to
3
keep track
games a
of.
day, like every day up until the playoffs actually start.
They've got their work cut out for
awesome,
them.
man.
They're going to be making some money.
What teams are actually in shape? Because that's going to be huge. This
Lakers.
is basically an off season and not during the season. So,
All right, y'all. Well, let's move on. Okay. That's a fun topic. Love talking about the schedule. But now let's go to something similar where 16 out of 302 of the NBA players have COVID. In the intro, I said, I think that's a good thing. Why? Out of 302 when Clemson's whole fucking team is sick? Like, I think that's incredible. I mean, all these guys be in all these different spots, and guess what? They are playing basketball with fans in the stands. And so they've been practicing on each other. I mean, I think the Lakers have their own little practice silent sesh going on every day. I mean, 16 out of 302 of the players eligible to go. I mean, they're obviously going to get isolated. Jokic can't come till he can't leave till he gets fully quarantined. I think you're going to see a couple of those. But outside of that, I mean, guys, I think this is a good sign. Obviously, I think there's going to be a chance where somebody's going to get sick. You're ignorant if you don't think that. That's dumb. But the starting point is 16. Guys, the NBA
Lower
is
than the
coming.
national average.
Yeah, it's going to be. I want to hear y'all thoughts. Broderick? What do you think about the 16 out of 302 players that are sick?
I mentioned this, I think, a little earlier, how that they've done, I think, a good job of monitoring these cases and making sure players are tested day by day by day to make sure it's spread as little as possible if someone does get it. So, I mean, I'm still worried about it just because you never know what happens. Yeah. Someone could, I mean, there's 300 players, not all of them are the most responsible. So one could just go out for a little bit and come back, bring it in, spread it. So there's always that one factor you can't contribute for, but for the most part, I feel pretty good about it.
EJ, Money Man, you feeling good?
Roger hit it right. Yeah, I feel great. I mean, 16 out of 302 players is a great number.
Great.
Obviously, NBA know what they're doing. Adam Silver knows what he's doing.
Always does.
I mean, that's why he's the best commissioner in sports right now, other than Vince McMahon. Anyway, because the XFL is a great league. Anyway, so
hey, WWE cases are rising through the roof right now. Vince McMahon's taking some heat.
Yeah, he should cancel a long time ago, but money talks. Like
money
Brad
does.
said.
Money talks.
but it's a great number. Hopefully the NBA keeps on doing what they're doing, keep on testing. Hopefully every day, and I can't wait till July 30th. It's gonna be a great day.
National holiday, if you ask me.
Yeah, man. NBA's back, and I'm ready for it.
Greatest sport in the world. Eldad?
I'm way less optimistic.
Oh, my God. Of course you are. The guy with the mask. The guy with the mask is way less optimistic.
It's just that 16 out of 302 is in line with the national average, so it is kind of what we expect. Plus, it's like, I don't know. I mean, Jokic is a pretty big player. I mean, if LeBron gets it.
But he's coming back. It's not like.
Yeah, but we don't know the long-term effects of it, too. I mean, it could cause pretty permanent damage to your lungs.
I mean,
Jokic is asymptomatic.
We've all seen the images of the lung.
Unfortunately.
Post.
Gobert said he can't smell, which isn't a super big deal, but it's still a pretty big.
The French, they need their senses. So keep going. What do you think? What else? It's negative.
I mean, it's way better than college football because they actually care about their players in the NBA, which is good. I mean, I think if any league is going to start, it should be the NBA because they're the only ones that actually are going to handle it appropriately and quarantine when they need to. I don't know. A bubble for 2 months just doesn't seem like it's necessarily going to work.
Let me ask y'all this. Do we need fans in the stands?
It's going to be weird without fans. I think it's going to be a really weird product without fans.
Bloomberg. What's his name?
The mayor of...
Blocked by James!
Oh, Mike Breen?
Mike Breen.
All I need... all I need is Mike... Listen, all I need is... Not Mike Bloomberg. I don't need him. I need Mike Breen to be at home, sitting in his lazy boy.
Yelling bang.
And just... Bang! Just shot by James, blocked by James, and then I'm good. I'm good. That's all I need. I don't need fans cheering. I got us to react. I got that. I don't need, now what I don't see, similar to March Madness, you know how teams sit in the stands when they watch, the other before they take the court? Why don't they just have the other, They are
allowed. The other players are allowed to attend the game.
That's what I'm saying. So that makes way more sense. And obviously, it's not going to be filled. There's not going to be thousands of fans in the Coliseum or whatever.
Here's a scenario I want to present for you, Evan. Russell Westbrook sitting courtside, jawing at JoJo Embiid, for an entire game.
That's what I'm telling you. I want Westbrook on the front on the court side for every game. And then just giving it to other players. And he would.
Right.
I mean, could you imagine if Draymond Green, if they were in, but they suck, so they're not. But if he was on the court.
True.
Man, I'm telling you. I think there's ways, it's going to be weird at first, but we're going to adjust as an audience. And I mean, we're used to, watching things that doesn't have reactions, live reactions. So I think it'll be tough at first and weird for sure, but we all agree, we need these games. We
need them.
Whatever form of basketball that is. I don't want no horse shit. I don't care about that. I want LeBron. I want the Lakers versus the Clippers, July 30th.
Exactly.
That's what I want. And we're going to get it.
This is what I've been on. I could list out 20 reasons why the NBA should just stop. Florida's the highest growing cases, so they're going there. The players are allowed to leave the hotels and go wherever they want.
Why did they go to Montana?
Whatever. And then I see one LeBron Anthony Davis highlight alley-oop from earlier in the season.
Forget it all.
And I say, I don't care.
Let them play.
Let them play.
I don't care. Let them play.
Let them play.
I need it.
All right. So let's move on.
Wait, one more thing.
What's the thing?
Did you guys know how many other sports are also going to Orlando? It's kind of silly. The MLS is going to be in Orlando.
Why Orlando?
I don't know soccer.
I don't know.
Disney, bro.
They're not even playing a season. They're playing a tournament.
Dude, ESPN gets all this.
I think the WNBA is going to be in Orlando.
Too.
why not just fill the stands with all these other teams? Like,
There you go.
I
Hey,
mean, make sure they're
Maybe
they're
they'll-
They're
negative.
gonna have like 3 different bubbles.
do you guys want to run? Do you guys want to run ESPN and this whole operation? Should we call Adam Silver up and be like, "Hey, we know what the fuck's going on. Do you?" All right, guys, let's move on to our final topic. It's the one we've been waiting for. I want to do something a little fun, give us a little something, to flex our knowledge and muscles. So, we all have our own top 5 teams heading in to the restart of the season. We'll all pitch our number 5 team. So we'll start with number 5. Everybody, do we agree? Do we disagree? If anybody else has a different number 5, then we'll talk about individuals number 5. But like, say if I say Orlando, just for instance, is my 5th team. It's not. I'm just saying. And EJ's like, Orlando. We don't have to argue that Orlando is the 5th. That doesn't belong there. If we all agree.
Anyone else have the Wizards at number 5?
Spurs.
All right. So I'll start us off. My 5th best team going into the restart. We don't have drum roll sound effect. Houston Rockets is my 5th team going into the season restart. Opinions? Do you disagree? I think I'll give my point. Wait, does anybody agree first? Anybody agree? Disagree?
I'm kind of pissed that I agree.
There we go. So we got the people in studio agree. And to preference this, the audience, we don't know each other's picks. Well, some might know mine, but we don't because I have a loud mouth. But they don't know the order. And so this is news to me. Me and Eldad both agree that the Houston Rockets are the 5th best team going into the restart. Anybody else? Okay.
Disagree.
Surprised the whole LeBron fan club on the fucking screen. All right. So then me and Eldad are going. All right. So I think you get Russell Westbrook. You get 2 dominant players. You're going to see a trend here. You get 2 dominant players in the playoffs, right? Guys who James Harden is proven, but he falls off obviously in game 6, 7 because he kind of carries the load, Chris Paul got a little hurt, got a little injured. Couldn't do it against the Warriors. Sad. I was upset. I was really pulling for the Rockets. But guess who's his running mate now? Russell Westbrook. That man does not get hurt. That man's a fucking Iron Man. And he's coming for it. He knows he's on a squad that has been there. Close. They were close.
You know what? Hey,
Hey, you get to go when I finish.
Because hold on, all 3 of us have the Rockets higher than 5, right?
I don't have the Rockets on my list.
There we go. That's why we're here for the reactions. All right, so we're going to continue. Grant, you can go.
Right,
you can give your pointers when.
Keep going.
When
I'm
you go.
sorry. I thought everybody. I'm sorry.
Hey, we got a bunch of stooges. We got a bunch of stooges online. All right. Anyway, so Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and I think the collective cast. They'll try to shoot you out. It just depends if they can. You live by the 3, you die by the 3. But I think when you have 2 dominant players, is what you need right now. And that's another reason why my other top 4 are in the spots they are. Eldad, what you think?
I really, really dislike the Rockets. Like I don't like James. I don't like D'Antoni.
You don't like the team. You don't like the.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
But I think they could realistically beat anybody. I mean, Covington's probably one of my favorite players. I think he's probably one of the best defenders.
3 and D guy.
3 and D. I mean, PJ Tucker at the 5 is really stupid, but it works. I mean,
kind of sometimes. That's why I'm in agreement with
dude.
you. Sometimes this team could probably.
I think it's so variable though. Yeah. I could see them going super far, and I could see them not making a shot first round.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right. So we'll go since y'all all 3 have different 5th teams. Maybe EJ and
maybe me and EJ have the same. But
EJ, what's your 5th team?
Man, I was going back and forth, and the Rockets wasn't even in my top 6, 7
I'm booting you off
8.
the show, by the way.
So, I was going back and forth.
Grant's
two,
just frozen in time.
one Eastern team and one Western team, but it all goes to coaching. And I would never take the defending champions out of a top 5.
I'm not mad at
They
that.
are second in the East.
Not mad.
And they still know how to win basketball games. It's the Raptors. That's a good pick. That's number 5. They got a great squad. They got team
Broderick
ball.
shaking his head.
And they got a great coach that had earned my respect. He can coach. He can
Nick,
really coach.
hey, Nick can do it. Nick Nurse is
Nick is a
I
great
thought
coach.
they're an idiot for getting rid of
Dwayne.
but
Dwayne Casey.
he's another great coach. But I tell you what, if I knew that Nick Nurse was my protege, I would have fired my ass myself. I would have just let him have the job.
Best coach in the NBA.
So
Cap.
All right. So the Raptors is EJ's
Raptors number 5.
5th team. Interesting. I'm not mad at that. Not mad. They're not in my top 5, but they might be 6. Not mad at that.
6.
Broderick, what's your 5th team?
So I'm also not mad about the Raptors or the Rockets because the Raptors were my 7th team, Rockets were my 6th.
Ooh.
But I ended up going up with the Denver Nuggets.
Denver Nuggets. I thought.
And I'll explain why I didn't pick the Raptors.
Great's just shaking it. Great just is.
I mean, great coaching. They're great defensively. And this year, even without Kawhi, they performed well, like in clutch time situations. Van Fleet's stepped up. Siakam has stepped up. But the Raptors are 1-6 against the top teams in the East. They can't beat those top tier teams yet. They're one of those teams that feast on those bad teams, and those bad teams aren't there anymore.
Aren't the Wizards
So
right now?
I mean,
They're always there.
the Wizards are still there, but and the Raptors, they don't have a clear go-to in the clutch yet. They went to Kawhi every time. So what?
It was a smart move.
Even though Siakam and Van Fleet have hit those clutch shots, who's going to step up and be able to close it out?
All right, tell us why Denver is your 5th team. We
Why
know
Denver?
you don't have to smash EJ's pick for the 5th team. Let's hear why Denver's your 5th team.
I was going to go over the Rockets too, but
I don't want to hear it.
okay, I'll just go to Nuggets. One huge thing is depth. With them coming back into
Roger, I'm going to pause you real quick. Does anybody else have the Nuggets in their top 5?
The Nuggets are my 4th.
Okay.
Okay, so
The Nuggets is the 4th. All right,
Don't sleep on Jokic.
okay.
So we'll go straight to Eldad after
proven.
Broderick. Go.
he might die. So
Yeah, so
Well, yeah.
with the Nuggets, if this list came out like say they took 2 weeks off, the Nuggets would not be in my top 5. The reason why I kept them there is because of their depth and because of their pace. It's not like they go out on fast break all the time. They're not constantly running. They have the 29th ranked pace. So they're slowing the ball down. They're passing it. They're getting the open shots. They're not relying on fast break points a lot to win games.
I'm just going – wait, real quick. Your 5th team, all right? You're talking about pace or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing your number 1 team relies on pace and fast break points as more than anybody. I'm just guessing. I don't know.
We'll find out.
So you might be contradicting yourself here.
but just looking at it, we don't know how in shape these players are. We don't know if they've
Jokic
done a
is
good job
looking good.
maintaining or not.
Yeah, but
But actually,
He's
that
sick.
concerns me a little bit. I want Jokic to be strong. Like, he's comfortable playing at that weight. So I'd rather him.
He wasn't strong before, I can guarantee you that.
But yeah, the huge thing is depth. They can
Looking
go
like
to a
the
bunch
dough
of
man.
players. That Murray-Jokic pick and roll is lethal. Both of them
Dangerous.
being able to score and pass. So there's not really a whole bunch of pick and roll duos that can do that. So yeah, that's why the Nuggets are my 5th team, and I'm pretty confident in them.
All right. So you have the Nuggets as your 4th best team. So we all did our – wait, Grant, did you go?
no.
Okay, Grant, what's your 5th team? My bad. I didn't think so.
So I'm gonna tell y'all how I did this first because I was like, all right, it's probably like the 5.
We got
my
about
top
6
5
minutes
teams.
before we go to break again. So
Top 5, it's gonna be really quick. I was at my top 5. It was like 5 teams that I think that I could see like getting there and actually like making a deep run.
agreed.
Because
I would hope we
I'm
all
not gonna
thought
put, like,
about doing that.
yeah, but I didn't. My 5th team probably isn't what I think the 5th best team in the NBA is
You're saying they could catch hot.
because in the playoffs, styles make fights. Like the 20th best boxer in the world might be able to beat the best boxer, but he can't beat like the 12th best boxer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So matchups really matter in the playoffs. And I had like 6 teams that I was like debating on number 5, and most of them were in the East. Yeah. And I went with what I might think the worst one is, but I really just like this team, and it's the Miami Heat.
Ooh, okay.
There's something going on with that team, and when Jimmy Butler loves his supporting cast, and that's just like an open gym type dude, and that's a dude I want on my side. You got the outside shooting that is just crazy lethal, but the most important part is he dropped him in the 80s, they would have anointed him as a god. And here's the thing. The road to the finals through the East goes through Giannis, and you have to have somebody to put up against that man. And he's the perfect matchup.
Well,
I see Giannis struggling with him, and they might take him to 7, but I think the Bucks would win.
So that's
Tyler Hero's been shooting the ball well off the court. Let's see if he can translate.
I'm pretty sure he's been bricking. I can guarantee you that the man's been missing his shots. So that's a great point about Giannis, though. So I can assume, I don't know, but I would assume that most of us might have the Bucks in our top 2.
I do.
Top 2?
Top 2. Top 2.
I think you're foolish if you don't have the Bucks. At least your top 2.
Top 2. No, EJ, not your top 2.
I have them at 3.
Not in your top 2.
Okay, well then
we see having the Clippers over.
There's a chance you could have the 2 LA teams.
Oh, you guys are gonna hate where I put the Clippers.
Well, yes. Are they the 8th team?
We'll see.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to resume after this message from me. Take this moment to like and subscribe, and also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Curbside Entertainment and Curbside Network, respectively. You can also find us on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Hey guys, welcome back to X's and O's with Evan and Bros. I'm your host, Evan. We are in the midst of our top 5 NBA teams going into the restart. Everybody give their number 5. Now it's on to number 4. Eldad, since we had a similar one with the Nuggets. Let's hear it. What's your reasoning for them at number 4 versus Broderick's number 5?
All right, I thought last year Jokic really arrived in the playoffs. He averaged I think 29, 12, and 9 on 50, 40, 90 basically.
Animal.
And yeah, they lost to the Trailblazers, but I mean, their weak link to me is Jamal Murray. I really don't like Jamal Murray as a point guard.
That was Broderick's strength.
I mean, their pick and roll is great. Their pick and roll is great, but I think Jamal on his own isn't that good. I don't think they'll win the championship. I don't think they can get past the Lakers or the Clippers, but I think they have a better shot than most of the East teams. So that's why they're at 4. I think they're better than most of the East teams.
Back-to-back West teams. Okay. We'll go to Broderick since he had the Nuggets as his 5th team. Who's your 4th team, Broderick?
I have the Clippers at number 4.
All right. Does anybody have the Clippers? Hold on. Does anybody have the Clippers at 4? You
No.
Dumbass. All right, Broderick.
I think I would have, but I was scared of the disrespect.
Yeah, you're going to get it.
I'm ready.
Get it.
Because on papers, yes, the Clippers are the best team. They have the most star power, depth, all that. But one huge thing that comes to bite teams in the ass in the playoffs, identity, team identity. Many of these players have not played together. Kawhi, so much load management. Paul George has been hurt. They just got 2 more mouths to feed in Reggie Jackson and one of the Morris twins. They still have Lou Will and Montrezl.
You don't know which twin it is, so you said one of the Morris twins.
Marcus. So this is a lot to play with. And with this lack of team identity, how are they going to play together? How do they mesh together? We don't know.
It's a good point.
There's one consistent factor is that Kawhi is a great player.
We do know that.
I mean, I think this team can make it to the conference finals, but I think that's where they lose. They also are very inconsistent on the 3 ball, which is huge in the NBA nowadays. And just what's their closing lineup? Like we don't know. They need to figure this out in 8 games. That's a lot to do. If they had like 30 games left, I would have the Clippers higher, but they don't have that much time to figure this stuff that they need to out. And on top of that, Lou Will's a great player, but if he's in closing lineups, he's getting eaten alive in the pick and roll on the offensive end, or I guess his defensive end.
And on top of that, you have 3 other teams that you think are better.
Yes.
All right. So Clippers are number 4. That's a bit of a shock to the panel. Grant, I'll let you go. See if we have a similar number 4.
First of all, Broderick, I love the Clippers slander, but we don't slander Lou Will, all right? That man's the GOAT.
No, he's a great offensive player, but defensively, the Lakers eat him alive.
Yeah, you're right. My number 4 is the Rockets.
Oh, that's
purely
right.
Because
Yeah.
they're the most dangerous. And like I said, like they might not be the 4th best team, but we're talking about like shot at winning it. They can beat anyone, any team by 30, and they can lose to any team by 30.
So we have the 5th.
And if they go out there and they shoot well, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. If they shoot well, they're going to win. I think that's just
they might let up like
that other teams can't replicate.
80 points in the paint though.
Yeah, and they might go 0 for 27 from 3 again, like they did in Game 7 against the Warriors.
I just, you have them higher than us, so you're higher on the Rockets than me and Eldad. But I think
I also think James Harden is crazy underrated. I think he's already entering the discussion as the best player that's never won a ring. Since he's been traded to the Rockets, look up his stats from year 4 on.
James Harden's my boy. He hates James Harden. I
don't
like
know
James
if I'd
Harden.
say underrated. I mean, I agree with
he's underrated.
One of the best to never win a ring, but I don't think he's underrated.
All right, real quick, just as a side note, and I'll reveal my number 4. Do y'all think if James Harden wins a ring, is he better than Dwayne Wade?
Yes. I think he's already better than Dwayne Wade.
So you already think he's better than Dwayne Wade. So he's probably the 3rd best shooting guard of all time.
I guess, but the thing is positions now. It's so hard because
you don't have positions anymore.
Yeah, it's so hard to because Dwayne Wade might be a better traditional shooting guard, but I don't know. That's tough. But I would say James Harden's a better player than Dwayne Wade ever was.
If we had more time, I would go more into it. But you already yelled at me for not staying on topic.
Real quick, EJ, what do you think? Better than Flash? Wins a ring.
He wins a ring, then possibly because James Harden will always give you 28. He's going to give you 28 for the next 5 years. Yeah, probably more. So,
and his health has been very good. Longevity of, and we haven't even seen skinny James Harden. Who knows? He could either probably fall
he
off
have the sprint or jump.
He always nosebleed. That was just a little fun question I was thinking. What about you, Eldad? What do you think? Better than Flash?
Yeah,
already or
he's got an MVP. I don't know. I think he's already better.
Okay,
even
that's
without
fair.
the ring.
That's fair. I'm not mad at it. I think he's arguably one of the greatest scorers of all time.
He could have like 3 MVPs, honestly.
He got robbed of one for sure.
He got robbed.
We can all. I think Russell Westbrook's here, or was it Steph's? Which one did he get robbed of?
I'd say
honestly, you can argue either.
You can argue.
Been robbed of like 5 MVPs. So.
Yeah. All right. So my 4th team, which I can guarantee you none of you have in your top 5.
Is it the Celtics?
No.
Is it the Sixers?
It is the Philadelphia 76ers.
I like the Sixers.
I like the Sixers.
They're such an interesting team.
I can't win away games.
Yeah, they can only play
at
at
home.
home.
They're not going to have home field.
Grant had Miami as his 5th team, and they have like the best home record. Anyway, my point is this team, I don't know if y'all, Tobias Harris talked about this. Similar to the Clippers argument, they have not really played together. But when we're talking about talent on a roster, they might have you can argue probably the best starting 5. Most talented starting 5. I think
the Celtics starting 5 is probably better, and I don't even have them up there.
Well, I think Embiid's the best player out of those.
Out of those two teams?
Embiid's probably the best. And I am more high on Ben Simmons versus Jason Tatum. That's me, though. I respect you. Some people have Jason Tatum as a top 10 player already. I think he could get there. But I think Ben Simmons right now, the way his body is, the way he needs to do it more, but bully people. I think this team defensively is one of the most dangerous. At least it has the capability. It's kind of like the Rockets, right? They have the capability of blowing a team out by 30, but this team also has the capability to fall back into old habits, and they look sluggish when they're a young team, but they look old. How does that make sense? Like their starting five's like all 25 years old and under, but yet they get run out of the gym sometimes. I think Embiid has a chip on his shoulder. I think he's ready. I think let's be real, guys. They should have beat the Raptors last year. But by the grace of God, that bounce knocked them out.
Claw.
Without that, Kawhi's not a top 5 player.
Hey, I got Clippers up there. So, and it's because of Kawhi. But again, they should have been knocked. They should have been in at least the conference finals. And again, I think they would have represented the East last year if that bounce didn't happen. So I leave it there. 76ers, which all of you disagree with, are my fourth team. So we're moving on.
Putting him up there, but I disagree.
It's okay. You're allowed to have your opinion.
Respect.
It's shit, but you're allowed to have it. So moving on to the third team, and I guess I'll start. And we'll see.
Yeah, they didn't get to say their fourths.
Oh, they didn't?
No.
Oh.
EJ hasn't gone.
EJ just going to say Lakers.
I got you,
Lakers.
EJ.
I appreciate it, brother.
All right, thanks for keeping me on track. I was getting excited. All right, EJ, what's your fourth team?
Look, with all the disrespect you just gave to the Boston Celtics,
Oh,
they are my fourth team.
My man. Hey, I'm not mad at it.
Celtics.
I would have put Boston there if I didn't think the 76ers were going to be there.
The team has a squad. Has a squad. They have a
squad.
great coaching staff. I mean, to me, to win a championship, you had to have a coach. You had to have a great coaching staff. I don't like how people say Steve Kerr can't coach and all these other coaches that has won finals. They've been given the glory road of great players. 50% is true, but the other 50% is you had to do something with those players. Celtics got Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward is playing really well.
Playing better. He is.
Yes, he's playing really well, and they play team ball.
They do.
And it's probably the best team ball in the playoffs. And if anybody can do it, they got 4 people that can score. And they have a decent bench. Marcus Smart coming off the bench. He's nasty too.
He's a bulldog.
He can give you 20.
Well, if they're losing, he can give you 20.
He can give you 20.
Kemba been struggling too. That's my problem with him.
Well, he's been hurt. Now he's healthy.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
and Gordon Hayward also, this plays to EJ's argument. Gordon Hayward has what, another 2 months, 3 months of, downtime to get that leg looking even better.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm not mad at it, EJ.
They have a chance to represent the East. I think they had the best chance to beat the Bucks out of all the teams in the East.
And your fifth team was the Raptors, correct?
What's the Raptors?
So you have the
East
most
I'm liking
East
it.
teams out of all of us probably on the panel. I can guess probably what the other East team, but back-to-back East
Look,
teams.
He has the Wizards.
I don't
at
like
one.
the East.
Hey,
Hey, maybe you should. Don't
don't spoil it, Broderick. All right, Broderick, your turn. What's your fourth team?
I already went.
Broderick went.
Oh, see, I thought he was saying that EJ hadn't gone yet. All right.
No,
So then EJ's going to start us off with the third ranked team on his list. EJ?
Mr. One Man Show himself, Greek Freak in the Bucks. They're on my
Three
number
East
3
teams
team.
in a row. I like it.
And the thing is that the Clippers and the Lakers, spoiler alert, will beat every team in the East. It don't matter who they play. If they get there, the West is going to bring home the championship, bearing injury.
So should they
But,
just cancel
yeah.
the Eastern Conference playoffs and just have the
they might as well.
championship?
God no.
They might as well, because the Lakers are bringing it home. So I don't even care.
Wait, whoa, chill. Don't shoot your
I
load,
think you
bro.
could have told you, like, he's got a LeBron jersey and a Dodgers jersey in the back. You could have
He
said
has
from
them
the beginning.
nicely
of this podcast,
hanged in the back. All right, Broderick, since you opened your mouth, what's your third team?
I have the Boston Celtics at number 3. So I'm very high in the Boston Celtics. One huge reason is because of the NBA schedule. They have one of the easiest schedules remaining, and I do think they're going to jump the Raptors for that second spot because the Raptors have a tough schedule. With that, they'll get the 7th seed, so that's either going to be the Magic or the Nets. That's huge, avoiding the Sixers or the Pacers Heat in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, the Celtics have 4 guys that can give you 20 any night with Hayward, Walker, Tatum, and Brown. That's so key in the playoffs, having 4 guys you can go to and just say, hey, get me a bucket. I don't care how you do it, just get me a bucket. That's why it holds teams like the Nuggets where they don't have players like that. So that's what holds those teams back. Celtics, they have 4 of those. And Tatum is their closer. They are so great in the clutch with Tatum, in my opinion. On top of that, they're top 5 offense and defense. And they are, make sure I get this right, they allow 106 points per game against top 10 offenses. That's amazing. This team can get it done offensively and defensively against the top teams. I think they'll give the Bucks the run for their money in the East.
All right, Celtics at the 3 spot.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. You said 4.
Yeah, but
Top 5.
All right.
great chance.
Does anybody else have the Celtics in the 3rd spot? Yeah, didn't think so. All right. So then, Grant, take us away with your 3rd ranked team.
I've got the Clippers at number 3, and I think they're a really good team. And I've kind of like positioned myself on with like a lot of my friends know like I'm a Clippers hater, and I just don't. Ever since the beginning, I was like, I just don't understand why everybody thinks.
Sorry, Grant. Real quick, does anybody have Clippers as 3?
Nope. I don't understand the hype with the Clippers, especially everybody was like, they're so deep. I was like, it's like Landry Shamet and Lou Williams.
You
now they
shut
added
your
2
mouth.
more, and it's okay. But the biggest reason is I really do just think Kawhi is overrated. People try to tell me he's like the best player in the NBA. He's not top 5. He's a really good defender. No, he's not top 5.
Hold on. Before you give your top 5, that's a different episode. So that's content we can't afford to waste here.
I could tell you the best players in the NBA.
Don't do it right now.
Listen, here's what happened. Kawhi got a storyline built for him in the playoffs last year, where if that shot doesn't go in and they lose, we're not talking about Kawhi. And then they get to the finals and KD gets hurt. I'm telling you, there are 4 other teams in the East that could have beaten that hurt team. And the Rockets didn't. The Raptors were perfectly constructed to beat that Warriors team without Kawhi. And they had a winning record without Kawhi, and they have a better record since he's left. So I don't see it. I don't know. And Paul George struggles.
I love how this is his 3rd best team, and he just trashed them. And like they're his 10th ranked team.
They still have a bunch of good players.
Because the expectations are so high for them. On paper, they are one of the greatest teams.
All right. Real quick. A little not that off topic. Who wins July 30th?
I mean, I don't think it doesn't matter because the Lakers have that.
Who wins? Just who wins? Because after the Lakers won that last game, everybody was like anointed the Lakers as the NBA champions.
Clippers take the series.
There you go.
They're already up 2-1.
I'll say the Clippers.
They are up 2-1.
They're up 2-1.
They're up 2-1. All right. So that's a great pick. Not mad at that. We have a similar experience at top 3. So, Eldad? Me and Eldad have 2 of the same.
The Greek Freak, the Milwaukee Bucks, reigning MVP.
2 of the same teams in our top 5 in the same spot. I love it. You lead. Tell us why Milwaukee is the 3rd ranked team and why they're wrong.
I mean, I think there it goes.
Knew that was going to happen. Talk.
I definitely think they're the best team in the East, and I don't think it's really as simple as saying whoever comes out the West is going to win the championship. I think the Bucks have a legitimate shot. The reason I don't have them over the Lakers or my other team is because they're.
I like how he said the Lakers, but wouldn't reveal the other.
Wait a minute. Do we have the same top 3?
Probably
in the same spot.
I guess.
So good.
All right, keep going. I'm just going to let Eldad talk for me.
I mean, Chris Middleton is a 50-40-90 guy, but he's not AD or
Agreed. That's why I have him in
PG.
third. But you have Giannis.
Yeah, I mean,
And Giannis accounts for almost
and a
every
really deep team.
position on the court, which is, I think you can argue LeBron, but obviously LeBron's up there in age, so he can't do some of the things that Giannis can do. That's just because it's just a scientific fact. But the things that he can do all over each position, it's the reason why there's positionless basketball. But it's also why I have him ranked as the third team versus 1 or 2. Because you can have Superman, but if you got the Justice League going up against Superman, it's going to stop him. Especially Batman behind that computer of his. All right. So then I'll go, since that's my third team, I'll tell you my second ranked team. And obviously, Eldad's probably going to agree. Maybe. Who knows? My second ranked team is the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yes, sir.
As my second ranked.
I have them at 2 as well.
Oh, Broderick also has them at 2.
I have them at 2.
There you go. All right. So,
But my reasonings may be different. Like, they're still my favorite team at all, but going into this back into the season, I have them at 2.
okay. So I have the Lakers as number 2. Eldad also has the Lakers number 2. Broderick has the Lakers as number 2. My reasoning is solely because I just don't think they're deep enough and they're as skilled as a shooting team that LeBron needs to go deep in this playoff run. I think AD is probably the third best player out of the ones we named. Third 3 through 5, maybe somewhere around there. I think we all agree throughout a lot of these. And you can have, the reason why they're up as high is because the King and AD. The supporting cast, and Avery Bradley is such a loss for them.
Maybe.
Yo, Henny God's coming.
I don't think he's that good.
The way Avery has played over the stretch of the season, he's played lights out. He played like the guy that he was over in Boston. That a 3-and-D guy, obviously smaller, he doesn't have the size, but he was knocking down shots. Every time LeBron threw it to him, he was putting it in the bottom of the net. They lost him. You're telling me JR is going to come in and replace him?
Henny God.
Dion.
Hey, I like JR. He seemed when he socked that
take
guy,
any JR slander.
when he karate chopped that motherfucker who was destroying his car, that was awesome. I was all here for it. But he's not Avery Bradley, at least the way Avery Bradley was playing at the end of the season, before the restart. So I don't. The supporting cast is just a little less wanted than the team I have at number 1. And Grant kind of already hinted at their supporting cast that he thinks they're a little overrated. I think they're just about rated. Any thoughts on our Lakers at number 2?
Let me touch on that just a little bit. Like, I agree.
Oh, was I looking at you? Weird.
Well,
go ahead.
Throwing out there. Okay.
No, I was looking at Mask Guy over here.
All right. No. All right. You go. You
got
I'll
it,
wait.
El Daddy.
I was just going to say I agree. They're not that deep. I mean, it is AD, LeBron, and Dwight said he might not play.
Oh, that's another loss.
That's a loss, too.
Didn't count for that one.
Caruso's the GOAT, but other than
Bleacher
that,
Report make you think so. Hit us up, Bleacher.
Danny Green, I kind of forget he's there sometimes.
He
but
forgets he's there.
He could either shoot you out of a
He's gonna be
series or
so
shoot you
big.
into. I don't know. There's series where he shoots like 20%, and then those where he's like Spurs Danny Green or
Yeah,
Raptors
if,
Finals
If
Danny
they would have
Green.
won in 2013, I think he probably would have gotten Finals MVP.
Oh, I agree, 100%.
All right, Broderick, number 2. You have the Lakers.
Oh, I can talk now.
Yeah, I'm looking
I'm
at you.
allowed to talk.
That's how the
Okay.
show works.
I agree with what you guys said about the depth and that being a problem. Like Bradley definitely not coming back. Dwight is up in the air. We'll see. And we don't know who's replacing these guys yet. So that's a huge question mark. Another thing with the Lakers, I talked about pace with the Nuggets. The Lakers get a fourth of their points on fast break points. And are these guys in shape? We don't know. That's a lot of their points coming in transition. Are the role players that are going to come in and replace those two, are they going to be up to speed? Are they going to be ready to run with the team? That's a huge question mark. If this was a week or two after the pandemic started, I would have the Lakers number one, just because I feel like that duo of LeBron and AD is one of the best duos all time. But just with so many uncertainties, I had to drop them to 2.
All right. EJ. I can already know your number 2 ranked team, and we know why you have your number 1 ranked team. But give us number 2.
Well, number 2 is the Clippers, but y'all are being so disrespectful of the Lakers. So disrespectful. Disrespectful.
Hey,
that team is ready
we got
to
like
play.
7 minutes.
Well, I'm going to say this. That team is ready to play. LeBron James, GOAT James. No, I'm not going to talk about the Lakers yet. All right.
Yeah, don't talk.
Clippers.
Just Clippers number 2.
Clippers number 2. Kawhi is still a beast. I'm sorry, Grant. He's top 5. Paul
Agreed.
George, when he's healthy, he's nasty.
And he's healthy.
And that, right, you're right. And Clippers are a healthy team, and they got Doc Rivers. I'm going to keep calling coaches. I'm going to keep saying.
Oh, say EJ got all these. You got an all-star lineup of coaches.
I'm telling you, coaches win championships. The thing is, Lakers got Frank Vogel, and we don't know about him yet.
I'm about to say, what about your biggest argument is you have Frank Vogel running the Lakers.
LeBron is the coach. LeBron's the coach. Anyway, Clippers are definitely number 2. I think they have a decent team. I think they can beat any team in my top 5. Probably not number 1, but Clippers on my second team, and they're better than the Houston Rockets that y'all keep throwing them around.
I had them as 5th.
Yeah,
James Harden
Up, bro.
choke. He
That's why they got Russell now.
I'm done.
All right.
I'm done.
Grant?
Russell, sorry too.
I got the Bucks at number 2.
Okay.
And I think, like
You had the
I
Clips
say,
as
I
3?
say,
Clippers as 3?
Huh?
Yeah, the Clippers 3?
yeah, Clippers is 3.
Okay.
And I say, I'll give you the picture. Giannis goes to round 2. The Heat are the 4 seed. He struggles, and then he meets the Raptors in the conference finals. Dominant, goes to the finals, give the Lakers serious problems. I have no idea what's going to happen in that series, and I'm really worried about it. But
So
the thing that keeps I watched the Lakers and the Bucks game that happened just before the break the other day for like a second time because I'm obsessed like that. And LeBron, it was the way I've been ready all year to say that Giannis is the best player in the world, but LeBron just won't let him. And if he would have beaten him with his brain, I would have been like, okay, like that's fine. But LeBron like bullied him offensively and defensively, like physically bullied one of the most dominant players in NBA history in his prime, coming off an MVP. Like that's not human. I got to give LeBron a game 7. Comes out there, balls out, gets his 4th.
So are we thinking kind of like your scenario you're painting is like, is it 2018 LeBron with the Cavs? When he like was putting up, or basically Del DeNova year.
That's the best version of LeBron we've ever seen was 2018 playoffs LeBron.
Yeah,
So basically that kind of like level from
That
Giannis.
kind of game. Yeah.
But they come up short, obviously. To your
Well, he
ranked
didn't have
team.
Anthony Davis.
Your number 1 ranked team, who's taking the ship or going into the season, is obviously Broderick. Answered this a little differently.
Yeah.
But Grant, who do you have as your number 1 ranked team? And all 3 of you, well, no, Broderick I guess deferred. So
I deferred.
who's your number 1?
Lake Show, baby.
Lake Show.
Avery Bradley, losing Avery Bradley is way bigger than people think.
That's why I have him as 2.
I know defensively that's going to hurt, and I think they might try to plug in like Dion Waiters or J.R. Smith or something. I think they need to just give Caruso all those
He
minutes
did not just say.
because Avery
Dion
Bradley
Waiters.
offensively
They do have Dion.
doesn't add that much, and it doesn't matter. They don't look to Avery Bradley for offense. Defensively, though, him guarding the point guard and Caruso and LeBron is such a great duo. Like if you watch Laker games, they play so well off of each other. I don't know what it is, but I think they should give Caruso all those minutes. And I think we tend to overthink these things, but LeBron and Anthony Davis are on the same team. They're going to win. They're going to win the finals.
Good point. Anybody else have the Lakers as the number 1? EJ.
You already know. And the X factor is Kyle Kuzma. If Kyle Kuzma comes out there and balls out, the Lakers will win.
if we're
yes,
counting
they
on
do got
Kuz,
LeBron.
that's not good.
Yeah, we're counting on Kuz since Avery Bradley not gonna be there. But I mean, the thing is, I'm not worried about Avery Bradley. I'm not worried about really any of the supporting cast because they are going to play LeBron James standard, and that's championship play. LeBron James have made it to every final
That's
except for last
championship
year.
play? 3 and 6?
Championship play.
It's championship play?
He makes it to the finals, and if he gets there, there's no team that can beat him with MVP.
I'll give you, it's like
on the
cha.
side.
It's like, there's no shit though. It's just,
I'm just saying facts. I'm just stating facts. LeBron James goes to the finals. He knows what the Larry O'Brien Trophy looks like, and he's going to bring one to Lake Town for Kobe Bryant. This is the year for the Lakers to win it, and it's not going to change. It's not going to change. I'm not worried about it.
all right. I like it.
Lakers in 4.
So
Lakers in 4.
me, Broderick, you, we got a couple minutes. What's your quick number one?
I'll try to make it as quick as possible. I've got the Bucks at number 1. They've been the best team all year.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
They would have had by far the best record if they didn't. I mean, they lost to the Lakers. They split their series, but the 2 games after that, they've kind of just rested all their starters. So I don't really count this 3-game losing streak too much against them. Their only really big weakness is they can't really go to Giannis in the clutch, and they haven't had those clutch games yet where someone had to come up and be their closer. Giannis can't score on all 3 levels. He doesn't have like a 3-point ball to where he can just pull up and get it done, or really a mid-range shot to really do that. So they have to rely on Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton's a great player, but we'll see if he can be that closer. That's my really only big concern about the Bucks, is that they're a deep team. I know they'll be fine just coming back in. They already have the 1 seed locked up, so they can just test out stuff throughout this regular season. They don't really have to.
So would you say Cavs, Bucks in 7?
I still have the Lakers winning it all, but just for the circumstances of the restart, that's why they're bumped up to number 1 over the Lakers.
All right. No shock. Me and Eldad have the Clippers as number 1.
Clip City.
Clip City. All right. That is it for today. Thank you all for joining. Give themselves a shout out. We love these guys. Appreciate y'all. See ya.